Thank you very much for having me and for allowing me to be part of the campaign to keep the name of this library. I was honored to be involved. I was delighted to be involved. I felt I was carrying on the work of CLR James by being involved. When I came the other day to a meeting and I saw those big letters across the big building, I lost my breath. It took my breath away, and I was deeply, deeply sorry that CLR was not with me. He would have loved it. He would have really enjoyed it. And what I want to say tonight is why. I knew CLR James from the time I was a teenager, and we were together for almost 30 years. And in those 30 years, I saw the brilliant work that he did, but not too many of us saw it. He was not wined and dined. He was not paid very much, if at all, and he was not ambitious for himself, so he didn't mind, and it didn't mean he wouldn't do the work if it was not acknowledged. I want to bring that to your attention because I think it's a quality that is gravely lacking at this moment in time in our society. You do the work because you love the work, because you need that work to be done. And so, towards the end of his life, he began to get some acknowledgement for that work. And I was very glad, and so was he. You know, he was really delighted with the first library, which bore his name. Okay. I made some notes, and now I pay no attention to them. Yes, I wanted to say that thank you, Selma, for raising the campaign. Because the campaign taught us something. We not only kept the library, but it taught us the reach of his ideas, the reach of his influence, and the number of people who felt that their own identity was dependent on the acknowledgement of his identity. And I want to say that those people were people of African descent, of Asian descent, of every descent. There's a way in which he was really, truly a citizen of the world, and if people didn't know it before the campaign, they absolutely knew it after. So this is an opportunity, first of all, to have a library. Nowadays, that's a luxury, it seems. This government doesn't think we need books, except maybe the ones that they write. We have another view. We want, especially our young people, but also our elderly people, people my age, to have access to all the wisdom in the world, and the nonsense too, and if they read enough, they'll be able to distinguish one from the other. You know, that is our hope. So we have a library, and we have a way of looking at rebels. Now that's what I want finally to say. Nello was not merely a brilliant intellectual. He was a man of action. He fought for the independence, first of all, of Africa and the West Indies, but every independence. His relationship with George Padmore and Dorothy Padmore, which I was happy to be witness to and in fact part of, was an important, a crucial historical relationship against British imperialism, all its ways and works and all its racism. And that did not endear him to the powers that be. They didn't like that. And they don't like people who protest today, but we like them. We want to change the world. We want to improve our lives. We want to improve the lives of everyone in the whole society. And I am very happy to be here tonight because this library stands for that change. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Selma. Yes. Yeah? Okay, we're going to have one poem, and then I'm going to just explain how the rest of the evening is going to work and what we do around the film. And I'll also thank Selma for being here. Yes, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you everyone for coming. I'm James Messam from Jamaica, and I think this poem would be quite fitting. It's entitled Roots. R-O-O-T-S. Roots. Rely on ourselves to survive. Because the nation without the knowledge of its history is like a tree without roots, which cannot stand but wither away. Because the soul, Mr. Marcus say, roots, roots, roots. I want you to help me. When I wave my hand like this, I want you to say roots, roots, roots. Let's try that.
Roots, roots, roots.
Come in a leaf, branch now, stem, Mia.
Roots, roots, roots.
Alex Ellie wrote about Kunta Kinte, that was?
Roots, roots, roots.
The plant is firmly embedded in the soil by its
roots, roots, roots.
We must preserve our cultural heritage because that is our
roots, roots, roots.
Me not come from near, me come from far. Not come by the bus, neither no car. Not come by the train, neither aeroplane. In the Alpha slaver, dehumanize and brutalize, pack like commodity, them take we from we.
Roots, roots, roots.
Displayed on the auction block, we prove we're no common stock. The Igbos, the Ashantis, and the fierce Gramantes all struggled for freedom to retain our
roots, roots, roots.
Taken across the Atlantic on a triangle passage called the Middle Passage to the Caribbean, far away from our
roots, roots, roots.
Great leaders like Malcolm X, Booker T. Washington, Nelson Mandela, and the indomitable Marcus Messiah Garvey arose black consciousness, stirred racial pride, and a return to our
roots, roots, roots.
And Lucia continua, Victoria etc. The struggle continue, and victory is certain because of our
roots, roots, roots.
Thank you.
Well, how do I follow that?
Let's carry on, let's carry on.
I'm not even going to try. Thank you very much. Thank you in particular to Selma. I thought that was a beautiful speech, and we're incredibly grateful for her involvement in this project. And I'm also incredibly grateful because I was the one who had to make the phone call to Selma to apologise about what had happened in relation to the naming of the library, and Selma was so gracious. And when I made that very difficult phone call, I think you left me hanging there for a couple of minutes with a very powerful silence. I deserve that. But you were incredibly gracious, and you've been incredibly gracious ever since. And thank you very much for all your calls, and I would say for your beautiful words. We're going to be showing Fire in Babylon for the second time today. Sorry, this gentleman in the back's got a question.
I'm not asking a question.
Oh, right, sorry.
I'm just trying to clarify some information.
Yeah.
Some years ago, I went to CLR James library to get a particular book. There was no information about CLR James there. Right? And what we did, we pioneered an exhibition on the life and times of CLR James, right? And part of the process was to have a permanent exhibition, right? We left the information, the images, mounted at with the librarians, and they were never put back. They were found in Morris Bishop House in a cupboard. Right? So what I'm saying is that this whole process here was pioneered by myself and somebody called Zelda Reynolds. Right? Yep, and that should be acknowledged. Okay? Right? And I am not happy. I believe one of the issues that have to be dealt with, you come here, there's not even a bust of CLR James. Yeah. And that was part of the process of having a permanent exhibition. Right? So I believe that whoever is organizing whatever is going on here, right, should commission a bust of CLR James, so at least, and put it at the front of the library. Right? Not inside and hidden away, right? Because that's really, really important. Yeah? Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
I think there should be a bust, because it's a tradition of the library for a bust of a well-known local hero to be put in the library anyway. You see all the marble, all the old-fashioned, so I agree with that. I think it should be done.
So, and to complete, right? Hockey is unique. There's no other place except in Trinidad and Tobago that CLR James has recognition, right? He never lived in hockey, right? So we should be proud that such a major intellectual, right? Academics, everything, right? Is honored in the borough, right? And he should be prominently placed somewhere.
Thank you very much. I think the bust idea is a great idea, and it's something that we'll investigate. And when I say investigate, I don't mean I'm saying we'll investigate and then nothing will happen. We will probably investigate, because I think that's